Welcome to Dig Deep with Eric Viskovicz, your no-nonsense guide to harnessing your power from within. Tools and discussions on achieving success in health, business, athletics, and in your life. Let's do this. Hi everybody, welcome back. We're talking a little bit more about living fitness and about what FITCLUBTV can do for you, but you know what, necessarily not what it can do for you, just pretty much the importance and positivity. I want to talk about the topic being the importance of positivity, from broken to positive. And I mean, it's a weird thing because we say from broken to positive. I mean, that just sounds outlandish, but we get people throughout all the years, the thousands of people that we get at our place, we get the broken people. And it always just says it takes one to know one. So therefore, as a very flawed man, after I played competitive sports in college, I found myself all of a sudden gaining 50 to 60 pounds. As I was trying to do this, I was here in LA, and I was doing some, fitness stuff and fitness print work and different stuff like that. And I found myself kind of forcing myself to be on these rigid diets that really don't work. You know, I mean, and let's face facts. We've all kind of been on these rigid diets, and like we've all had this plan, and I'm going to lose this much weight, and I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 1 week, and it's never healthy when we do something really that's not supportive, that we're not eating the right amounts of fuel. And what happens is it starts to give us this negative thinking. And some people think, it's an interesting part, they actually think they're positive people, and in reality they're very negative. I always find that throughout the years, I think we've had thousands of people, and I think if I could tell you what I think is the number one problem that people have, why they don't get to their goal, why they don't have success. After 22 years, what I could tell you is positivity and not understanding how to use positivity. You know, we talked about it a little bit in the podcast before. We talked about how to create positivity. We talked about how realizing that you're negative, but in reality, we didn't really talk about, why we are negative or our personality types and how that makes us negative and so on and so forth. So I always start with saying, remember, if everything is important, then nothing is. So there's something you can do. You can make it could be top 10, it could be top 5 list of what are the most important things in your life. And if you make a list of 10 things that are the most important things in your life, and you rank them from 1 to 10, you can't literally not bitch or complain about anything else. Imagine if you did that. I did this with my wife one time. We did a pinch contest about every time we were negative, we would pinch each other. And we were like, oh my God, we are so negative people. Like, can you believe we're that negative? Honestly, I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, wow. Okay, we're very negative, but it actually did something for our relationship. It said, okay, we're being that negative on a regular basis. What's the likelihood that we're not living the best quality of life? That means that's what we were teaching our kids. Wow. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm teaching my kids negativity, and I bitch about people not being positive enough and not, getting the success that they can in life and not achieving success when I'm negative myself and I don't even realize it. So I went, okay, this is a point that I need to change how I do things, how I think. Now, I've been doing this in the facility for 22 years, but doing it and living it, let's face facts, they're two different things. I can talk about being positivity. I can talk about all the things to do as a life coach that I talk about in life coaching and lectures here at Live in Fitness. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't mean that I'm doing it in my life. So the pinch test is something that you can do with your significant other, and you pinch each other, then you start to realize, okay, we're not as positive as we thought. Now, go back to the list that we were talking about, the 1 through 10 most important thing in your life. Rank them. You can do this with your significant other. If it's not on your list, you can't bitch about it. You can't talk about it. You can't complain about it. If that's the case, you start to live this positive life. You start to realize who you really are. That's the important thing, was we need to realize who we are. We need to realize, I always talk about in my book, The Power of Four, we talk about problem, solution, action, accountability. And it really always comes down to that, is in order to start any plan, we need to know what the problem is. We need to know what the problem was. And a lot of people want to say, well, I don't want to talk about the problem, I want to move forward. Yeah, I get you want to move forward, but we need to understand what the problem is first. So let's talk about this. The top 10 things that you can, most important things in your life. So take a list, write them down, put them on a chalkboard as you walk in it, and own them. So it could be a list of 5. If you want to only think about 5, be specific and detailed to that list. Don't say kids. That's pretty vague. Be specific. I want to teach my kids and work with them doing their homework. I want to spend more time with them, and I'm going to do sports with them. Whatever the thing is. And then stick to the list. What I can repeat back, stick to the list. You only get 10 things. Stick to your list. Okay? You can have, like we said, we do the pinch test. For years, I applied the principles of pretty much of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to my own life with phenomenal results. I mean, I literally am a negative person, and I'm living more positive. I listen to affirmation videos. I am not a great version of myself. I'm a very flawed person, and I'm doing the best I possibly can be, but I'm becoming more positive of a person. And when I am more positive, I am happier. When I don't bitch and complain about small things, I am happier. When I don't nitpick and spend time in the small, I am happier. But I need practice. I need help realizing when I'm in my moment. Think about it. How many times do you get in your moment? When you're in this moment and you're like, I cannot get out of my own head. I cannot get out of my own way. The most successful people in life, you know what they do? They sit down and they say, what is the intent? What are we doing right now? What do we need to achieve? I need to understand what it is we're trying to achieve. And then they achieve it. And then they work towards getting that thing done. Simple enough. Most colossally successful people do not fiddle in the small. Think about that. If you're a person and you want to have ultimate success, whether it be money, love, whether you want to draw someone to you, think about that. Think about what is our goal for every meeting, for every purpose. What is our goal right now? I have a friend of mine, he's a billionaire. We were doing something and we sat down. He's like, okay, let me understand this and what is our goal? Literally, those are the 2 things they said. And it's funny because I was studying this and then I realized this is why this guy is so successful. Because he has a purpose and he's getting right to the point, and he's not going to fiddle about the small. You could talk to him about a small thing. He go, yeah, I don't have time for any of that. It's just he doesn't have time for the small. He is caring but doesn't have time for the small and is figuring out what needs to be done. So the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, it's so interesting because it's how about changing our thoughts. The overeating behavior, it's like, can be changed by challenging like our irrational thinking, okay, and replacing it with rational thoughts. We can say, yes, I want to eat Ben & Jerry's I always use Ben & Jerry's for some reason. I must have something with Ben & Jerry's. And it's good, right? So is that I can eat this when I'm on my couch. I'm an adult. I can do anything I want. But what is going to make me not do that? It's this cognitive behavioral thinking. Okay? So there's many types of thinkings that undermine our success. Many amount of negativity that can undermine our success. So we have to break the habits. Break our old ways and understand. In order to break our new ways, and this is the number one I think I see, especially in my older clients, longer time with bad habits, and it's harder to break, right? I mean, the old habits are hard to break. That's a saying. It's true. It makes sense. The longer we've had a bad habit, the longer it takes time to break it. They say it takes 4 weeks to break a old habit. I think that also depends on how bad the habit and how bad the personality is and how negative the person is. So it could take up to 8 to 16 weeks to break an old habit. So we want to change habits, change our thoughts. The biggest thing we see is that people deflect from their purpose, from their goal, from their reason. Like, I pretty much find that deflection is just another word for excuses. I mean, I ask somebody, people in our place, sometimes they're fixated on what kind of toilet paper. Or we've got a policy, which is kind of weird because we're at our place and we're like, listen, these are the things you should bring your own toilet paper because you want whatever toilet paper you want. We're also trying to lower cost and things like that so we can make the prices affordable. And people they deflect about toilet paper. And they're worried about toilet paper. Toilet paper is not on your top 10 list. If it is, then we should figure out toilet paper. But a top 10 list of things we're going to worry about, we're not going to fiddle-faddle on the small, but we fiddle-faddle the small when we worry about toilet paper. If you have a goal and a purpose and we're deflecting from that goal and the purpose, I should say I can sleep on a bed of nails to achieve my goal. Those type of people, the type of people, and I talk about this, the unrelenting pursuit of a goal, I talk it to her blue in the face. It's on the 3-step affirmation system that we go over at FITCLUBTV. It's on everything that I talk and I preach about. But in reality, it is pretty much that we have to understand exactly that we cannot deflect. We cannot have excuses. And if we have excuses, we simply will not achieve our goal. We will not find our purpose. We will not live the life we want to. In life, you get out what you put in. This goes double for negativity and reversely positivity. Okay? So, in life, you get out what you put in. People treat you how you treat them. We're talking about positivity today. We're talking about how it will help you achieve your goals. And honestly, and what I found out is most people think they're positive, and in reality, they're negative. But being positive and being negative, how do you get out of the habit? That's why we have people come from Saudi Arabia, from all over the world, into our environment, because they're getting out of their environment. They need to get out of their destructive environment, their old ways of thinking, and change. And once you change, you open yourself up for success, whether it be weight loss and health. And it's amazing how many people don't think holistically. I always say, and this is my new thing, and this is my new way of talking, is that we as a company, and myself, Eric Viskovicz, I believe in holistically is not with an H, but with a W-H. It's the whole self. Okay, we'll talk about that more in another podcast. And we're going to talk about the holistically with a W. Because the idea is that we're dealing with our whole self from nutrition, what we eat, from spiritual, from behavioral, from exercise, everything. So in life, we get out what we get, we put in, and what are you willing to put in? I mean, that's the biggest thing, is what are you willing to put in? And I'm willing to put in a lot. I gotta be honest with you. I think if you would ask me what is my only forte, is that I'm willing to work. How hard can we work? I used to love to work. I used to love to exercise hard. I used to love to do different stuff. I couldn't work hard enough. And I love when people noticed my hard work, and it was, I think, everything to me. I think that's why when sometimes I can't motivate myself, or I sleep too late, and I start to beat myself up, because I think that who I am as a person is defined on how hard I work. And I think my dad instilled that in me. And, my dad's passed away now, and I still want to honor him by working hard. I still want to be the hardest worker. I think I still need to work harder, and every time I talk about hard work, I don't think I'm doing enough. But I need to work the right way. I need to not have excuses. I need to be positive. I need to be focused on what is the most important things. And you could focus that into positivity about how you run your business. Are you doing this with your business? Everything you do with yourself, you can do for your business and stuff like that. And people say they don't have the time. That's just excuses. I love that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, if you're working out hard and it's very hard, and you're pushing yourself very hard, everyone has one hour in a day. If you just put 1 hour in a day, in a year you have learned something for 365 hours. Imagine that for 10 years. You've got so much hours and you have so much knowledge that you put in. So I love that. I love to listen to it, and I listen to him constantly, because I think what he says radiates to me. And I hope that what I'm saying radiates to you, but you need to find someone who radiates to you, and you need to be listening, because you need to be trying to be motivated at all times. You need to be trying to be positive. You need to be trying to move forward, because that is the most successful people in the world. They're always working on something. He says, they're always working on something. There is no plan B, is what he says, and I love that. If you've got a plan B, you're planning to fail. Plan A. Work to that plan A. Be positive. Know what you're working towards. So, a negative mind will never give you a positive life. That's an interesting thing. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. I wonder what you guys think about that. Because I don't know. I like to think deeply and philosophically about things, but a negative mind will never give you a positive life. You're thinking negatively about something, but you want positive things to happen to you. Well, if you believe in spiritualism and you're listening to spiritual people, constantly people that talk about negativity are giving a frequency out into the world, and subconsciously that's going into their mind anyway. And they're actually having dreams of failure instead of dreams of success. We talk about that in other podcasts. We'll get to that, and we'll talk more about that. But in order to be a success, we have to think positively. We have to change the negative thinking. Okay? A negative thinker sees the difficulty in every opportunity. And that doesn't even make sense to me, but a negative thinker sees a difficulty in every opportunity. A positive thinker sees an opportunity in every difficulty. There's positive things and things. That's what I come back to. I said in the podcast before, where my office burnt down to the ground. Best thing ever happened to me. Best thing ever happened to me. The whole thing burnt down, and and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Well, now I need to really focus on the right things and how to make my business better. Now, we have a long way to go. I have a long way to go to where I want to be. Simply enough, I know that. I know where I want to go in my pursuit for me. But in helping people, which I love to do, and I'm so passionate about doing because it's my life, it's the reason why I was put on the earth, it is to help other people see the positive in things. And I'm not always nice about it. I've got people out there that say, gosh, Eric Viskovicz, he's kind of a, beep, beep. There might be a couple beeps in there. But as a coach, we can't care about people liking us. We have to do the right thing even when it's hard, even when they're not going to like us. And that's been the case for me sometimes. It makes me sad because I do internalize things and overthink things and overcomplicate things. So it's hard for me to do that. But I still believe if I'm trying to help people all the time and I'm being harsh on someone, my staff, I think I'm overly harsh on them, and I believe, and my theory is that if I believe in you, I should push you and be hard on you. If I don't believe in you, then I'm done with you. I'm not going to talk to you. So I'm going to try to motivate the people that really want it, who aren't going to give excuses. So we come back full circle to the excuses and deflection, that we can't have the excuses and deflections because they don't work and they won't get you to where you need to go. I hope you understand that. I hope you're listening, and I hope it's maybe penetrating your soul, and maybe you're hearing something that make you help you. I really hope that, because this has really helped me. And remember, over the 22 years, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, some people will better your life, okay, by being in it, while others will better it by staying out. Okay, so remember that. Like, you can't improve your life if you're surrounded by negative energy all the time. You just can't improve your life if you're surrounded by negative energy all the time. Okay, that only brings you down. It will only bring you down low if you're around negative energy. So you must be around things that are positive energy. If you don't see the sun all day, you have this passion and you want to see the sun, and you feel the sun's rays on you, and it gives you energy and positivity. That's how our soul works. Our soul works on energy positivity. Okay? So filtering life through a negative lens and ignoring the positive. Okay, an example is, I lost 5 pounds, but I wanted to lose 10. Okay, the positive, we need to put a positive substitution on a negative thinking. Positive substitution would be, I'm 5 pounds closer to my goal. But then again, there has to be something where there's no plan B. That's the tricky part. Where does the accountability come in? Was the 10 pounds unreasonable? Well, we have to adjust that and see, is our goal not obtainable? Well, how about the next week? Can I lose 5? Can I lose 7 pounds? What do I need to do to achieve this goal? Okay. Now, if I want to lose 10 pounds, I may have to work harder, but is it possible at this point in time? Or will it take 2 weeks? That is the hardest part. Is it negative thinking, or am I just keeping myself accountable? Polarized thinking is viewing situations are all good or all bad. Remember what, not to sound geeky, but the Yoda thinking, they're, like that polarized thinking is a way to the dark side or the evil side. Okay, that's pretty much what they were saying, is that if you think in just one way, it's and it's not a sign of intelligence. And we do it with Democrat, we do it with Republican, we do it with religion, we do it with this, we do it with a lot of polarized thinking. And if we're adding polarized thinking to our success, I don't think we can have as much success as we possibly can. So we need to be open to different things that could make us successful. So an example is, I couldn't get my favorite treadmill today. I know I'm using bad gym analogies, so bear with me. But it was a complete waste of my time to go to the gym. Someone's on my treadmill. Jiminy Christmas. Now we're using very dramatic, or it could be that you couldn't take your class. It was too full. You had to take a different class. Positive substitutions, because the treadmill wasn't available. I went to a yoga class and got more flexible. And that was cool. And I mean, gosh forbid, if you're a single person, what if you met Mary or Jim, and Mary and Jim are the best, and you get married and you have 10 kids. You know, maybe not 10 kids. That 10 kids seems like exhausting. Maybe 2 kids. So we don't want to jump the gun, I guess. But that's the idea, is overgeneralizing, okay? Reaching a general conclusion based on one piece of evidence. Example, I gained a pound this week. I may as well quit trying. Or we get on the scale and we say, I want to lose 3 pounds. I didn't lose any pounds this week. I didn't do anything, even though you exercised 5 times this week and you haven't done that in 2 months. So now you're healthier. But instead of saying that, we say, I'm going to quit and F it. And that's what we do. And that's the beginner way of thinking. That's a negative way of thinking. And it's not until we stop the negative thinking and not until we take the power back and we say, I will not be controlled by my negativity any longer. By doing the pinch test and going back to your list of 10. Not until then, and only then will we be ready for change. I hope you guys are realizing this, and I hope it's coming to you and it's making sense to you. But expecting worst possible outcomes. You know, I get it. We've all had our feelings hurt, and we've all been in relationships, and we've all been broken up with and different stuff, and we can say we want to try, it's too painful and hurtful, or whatever the case may be. But, you know, we can have a positive substitution. We can work hard. We can say, no, I'm going to achieve this. Nothing's going to stop me. But it's the reiteration. It's the positive thinking. It's the internal dialogue, which we talk about in many different videos. There's a pretty cool video on FITCLUBTV about internal dialogue and how it works with you and how to become a positive internal dialogue thinker. So you got to be in your own cheering section, people. You got to be in your own cheering section. The world's changing. We can actually cheer for ourselves. People take selfies all the time. I still don't get it. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned. I don't know. I had a girl that was coming for an interview, and this doesn't really pertain to anything, just showing you an interesting, weird part about myself, is there's this girl, and she wanted a job. She wanted a sales job, and we're looking at her resume, and of course we cyber stalked her because that's what we do. So we went on her Facebook, and there was 50 selfies of this girl. And I went home. I don't know if we can hire someone with 50 selfies. She's pretty into herself. I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe 50 selfies is, I look good in this shot and I feel good about this and this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a happy medium in there somewhere. I think that's probably the case. But no matter what, I know that negativity is the #1 problem I have of my clients who are overweight. That's what I'm telling you. I've lived my life in the weight loss, life coaching thing, era in nutrition, in engineered nutrition, and eating disorders. And what I have found all these years, and here's the advice I'm giving you, all of my years of expertise: negative people have negative outcomes. Positive people have positive outcomes. Come here to work, you'll do great. Come to live in fitness for a spa, not so great. Pretty simple. Don't have polarized thinking. Make a bad thing the best possible way. Keep a positive outlook. If you're a negative person, change the behavior. Work on changing the behavior. Okay? Start and keep an inner dialogue journal. Cheesy works. Cheesy, but works. Promise you it works. Start at certain points during the day and notice when you start to say something about yourself that's negative. And literally make an appointment and before, in a meal, and write down what's going on inside and write it down in a journal. Okay? Make a journal about how you're feeling when you're feeling negative. Have you ever done that? I have done this before. And I've been in a deep, dark place, and I've wrote how I feel. And I go back and read, and I go, holy macaroni. Boy, was I negative. Okay. I'm so glad I'm past that point, and I feel so much better about my life right now. We have to have an inner dialogue journal. We have to practice writing it down. Practice when we write things down, we say them out loud. We practice our internal dialogue. We practice subconscious thought, okay? Which pretty much helps us feel amazing. And then we start to have dreams in our subconscious mind. And when we start to feed our subconscious mind with positives. Remember, you feed your subconscious mind with positives or negatives. So meaning you have negative dreams about yourself or positive dreams about yourself. Okay? For me, that has helped with my sleep. Once I've start watching affirmation videos during sleep or before and after sleep, I have changed my sleep pattern dramatically. I need a lot less sleep. Not to quote Arnold again, but I love quoting Arnold because I think he's the greatest. But literally is, you know, the idea, he's talking about pretty much the idea of saying you're going to do it. Saying that you need to do it and need to have affirmations in your life that you can do it. So I think that's the best thing, is to understand what really what Arnold's point is. He's trying to say is that with positive outcome, with positive things will happen to you, but it's hard work. Okay, and you're going to want to hear it, you know, and that's the whole thing, is write it down in this journal, talk about yourself with it. Okay, so if we're going to replace negatives with positives, okay, we have to discover what is positive to you. What makes you tick? What's positive to you? We can't go what's positive to someone else. Okay, now the unthinkable, compliment yourself. Talk about what you can do, not what you can't do. Okay, what you will doing with. You look blank. Fill it in with fabulous, terrific, amazing, stupendous, superb, svelte, ripped, whatever you want to say. I don't know. But put something in there that's positive. You are boom. If you don't have something positive to say, put in a work in progress. Work in progress is still positive. I used to do this all the time when I didn't feel good about myself. I still do. I still struggle with my weight. I struggle every day with my weight, even though I teach it to people, and because I just don't have a good metabolism. I exercise probably about 10 hours a week. I just don't have a good metabolism. So I struggle with trying to be thin, trying to look good, trying to feel, you know, I struggle with my age, getting older, all this stuff. You're going to struggle with it too. You know, here's the thing. The secret is be positive. How to do it? You're going to have to scrap and scrape and dig and poke yourself when you're not being positive, and have a positivity journal and figure out when you're doing it and what you're doing and how to be positive and how to talk to yourself like you own it, and not have a plan B, and have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the most important things in your life. Remember, if everything is important, nothing is important. Okay? If you're a perfectionist, you can't survive. Nothing is perfect. Okay? I'm going to tell you, nothing is perfect. Okay? And what one person believes to be perfect is the other person's not perfect. You know, two people can walk in and they go, oh, this is the most beautiful girl or most beautiful man I've ever seen. In reality, the other person go, what? You think that person's the most beautiful? It's in the eye of the beholder. Okay? Be positive. Live your life. There's nothing that can stop you. Only you can stop you. Dig deep. Be positive. I hope this helped you. I hope you're going to be positive. Try the pinch test. We've got FITCLUBTV. There's got a lot of behavioral positive things on there. But excited we're launching that next month. FITCLUBTV is pretty badass. I think you guys are going to love it. So let us know how we're doing. Let us know in the podcast. Let us know if we helped you. Like our page. We love what we do, and we hope this helps you, and hope you're having a fantastic day. Kick some butt. Okay, take care. Bye now.